What is up, Beyond the Gates fans? It is June 20th, 2025. We're talking about today's Friday episode, which was quite a good one. I would say that today's episode was the best episode of Beyond the Gates in the past 2 to 3 weeks for me because we got so many different layers today with Martin's secret taking some unexpected turns, which this show is good at. They're good at taking a story direction in a way that nobody really sees coming. And now I like that they're actually getting a little classic with their soap opera storyline, with it being kind of like an umbrella storyline. We have a lot of different characters being brought into Martin's secret. We will begin talking about Martin. Martin and the mystery man, he has a name, but I forget. Um, Today he finally confronted Martin about the past incident, which seems it was some sort of car accident, and that the mystery man's brother might have died in the car accident, and that Martin was obviously involved, and that Vernon helped cover it up because the man was talking about Martin having people in high places. But this character, this white character, they are definitely going a bit of some racist nuances with him. In yesterday's episode, when he did tell Vernon that some sort of you people look alike. I didn't. Well, I was taken aback at first, and then he played it off in that he was talking about the Duprees. But today they definitely added to his racism, where Martin was concerned that he seems very upset that Martin comes from this influential, successful black family. And so I think this side of the story is going to be that and then later in the episode, I'm kind of scattered here, but later in the episode, and we'll get back to Vernon because I liked Vernon today a lot for once. But when Martin and Vernon had their confrontation, shout out to Kaiwan and Ray Rush in the chat. But when Martin and Vernon had a talk, they talked about how the man actually started whatever went down in the past. So I do think it was some sort of maybe started as some sort of hate crime with the white mystery man, either because Martin's black or because Martin's gay or both. So in the end, the storyline is probably going to make Martin more likable. So that's good. And it's just a very unexpected, but a good turn, adding layers to Martin's secret. I hope that they can continue that route with that aspect. And then where Vernon was concerned, which I wanted to talk about, I liked how we had intense, feisty Vernon today. If Vernon and Anita could just embrace the fact that they like to do shady things, I would like them more. I liked Vernon today being very protective of his family, trying to have the man tailed. When that failed, he was upset about it. Vernon today is the type of Vernon I wish we saw more often. But also, it's just good to see him have his own kind of storyline too. We have Anita's now with the articulates, and now Vernon being the patriarch of the family, having to maybe go to exactly as Ray said, Vernon was giving gangster today. And yeah, I was feeling it. I liked that side of Vernon. And so, like I said, I always complain. My biggest complaint about Vernon and Anita is that they're so fake about who they actually are. But when Vernon was keeping it real today, I loved it. So I would like to see more of that side of Vernon. And then also was loving Smitty today. One of my biggest complaints about Smitty since the show has began was he doesn't have a backbone, where Martin is concerned, at least. And while I still don't think he does, I like that the story is heading in a direction where it seems Smitty might end up being the one who really puts a well, like kind of blows up the Dupree family and all their plans with this whole Martin situation. If Smitty is that catalyst, I think that will be good for his character as well. And maybe he can finally get to a point with Martin where Martin's not always walking all over him. Now, today he had scenes with Jacob, which also brings in Jacob's side of the storyline. I don't I don't love how the show like drops storylines for weeks at a time. I don't like how the cop storyline went away for so long, but I'm glad that they bring it back, and they in this case have done a really good job tying it to Martin's story now, which is kind of a swerve as well, because we thought it was all going to be connected to Joey, and I still think it will be to some extent, but it's going to be Vernon who likely paid off Marcel in the past. So that adds even another layer to the story because Jacob's married to Naomi. Jacob is Vernon's grandson by marriage, grandson in law. Uh, and then where his father and his partner are concerned, I think that they might not be dirty cops in the end, which I kind of wanted them to be because I like Jacob as the one and only goody two shoes cop on the show. But I'm starting to think that Elon did not lie to Jacob with the fact that Marcel is just like undercover with Joey, because it seems like Joey didn't pay him a whole lot. So maybe Elon and Marcel will not end up being dirty cops in the end. Um, but it's still good to see that story tied to a different story. So I liked Smitty and Jacob's scenes today. I like that Smitty is so pushy with finding out the truth. He doesn't realize yet that it's going to lead him to Martin and lead him to Vernon. And when that does happen, I'm going to really enjoy that as well. As for next week's preview, we are seeing how many people are going to be involved with all of this. We see a lot of the male characters in a room, including Bill, who's still recovering from his stroke, and I'm looking forward to those scenes and who all is involved and how Smitty plays into all of this. The past couple of weeks have definitely made Smitty a better character, and it's good to see him doing his job. And his job is actually what's kind of leading to this breakthrough that he doesn't realize yet for him and Martin's relationship. So good writing there, overall. I will get to Vanessa and Doug and also Nicole and Ted here in a second. I do want to read some of the comments. Kaiwan loves that they're doing this racism storyline as well because the other soaps are not doing that. Yeah, I agree. I think it is a step in a good direction, which just makes the whole storyline deeper. Ray says it was a good show today, but I did miss Eva and Leslie though. But solid show. Yeah, Eva and Leslie haven't been on this week much at all, if at all. I don't think they've been on at all, honestly. I needed a break from their story, but Eva's still my favorite character, and I hope she gets some good material going forward, like she did there for a while. That good material is not going to come with robotic Tomas, though, unfortunately. Anyway, speaking of chemistry, which I complained about yesterday, I am trying to fill out this Nicole and new Ted chemistry. I've seen complete opposites online. I see people that think that new Ted and Nicole have no chemistry. I see people that think Nicole and new Ted have a lot of chemistry. I kind of fall somewhere in the middle. I was hoping there would be more chemistry between them than there is because I'm still wondering why they recast it in the first place. But Some of their talk today got a little boring. I'm glad that they finally had that conversation. I don't like how Ted has been so passive in trying to win back Nicole and save his damn marriage. But as their scenes went on, there was the sparks of chemistry there. There is sparks of chemistry between new Ted and Nicole. I felt so in their scenes today with their talks. And then later on in the episode, when they had their good little eye contact, I think that I saw the spark there too. So they have possible sparks. I hope they can keep working at it, and I think that they will get there. As for Doug and Vanessa, I like that Doug threw some shots at Vanessa. Talking, Vanessa was gung ho about how she has this plan, how she and Doug can meet up in the empty houses that she's selling. And Doug threw in the comment about how hopefully they leave the bedrooms the way they found it. I like that Doug is acting out finally about Vanessa sleeping around, but then at the same time, Doug is the reason that he and Vanessa are now kind of in this thing with Joey where Vanessa has to break the law. But she seems fine with doing so. And as Doug called out, she's liking this dangerous game between her and Joey because it turns Vanessa on. But I also think that she's starting to enjoy the whole breaking the law aspect of her and Joey's relationship as well. And I think that she's going to be capable of playing games with Joey too when it comes to some of the shady business. So honestly, it was a good episode all around. I liked that Vanessa also walked in on Joey playing poker with two police officers, one of whom is the chief of police. So yeah. Let's see. Ray says that you prefer old Ted 100%. I can't disagree. Kaiwan says they need a new love interest for Nicole. Maybe it will be that Carlton guy. As I said last week, I was hoping he would be for Eva because I just don't want Eva with Tomas. But yeah. Ray says low key Vanessa is with all that criminal shit. She's just low key with it. I agree. Vanessa, I think, is going to enjoy a lot of that. All right, that's all for me this week where Beyond the Gates is concerned. We end the week on a very high note. I thought today's episode was good because we had so many layers for once, which is what the show has been missing. But of course, the episodes are going to miss those layers when Ashley and Derek are taking up so much time because they're the least layered characters on the show, and their whole storyline has been the least layered storyline. So yeah, thank you, Ray, for watching. I'll see y'all next week.